What is up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Brandon back on Motor Nubs, and this was not exactly planned, but I ran across a Lancer ralliart, 2010 model, I believe it was. And I always wanted an Evo, but I never really could afford an Evo. And they came out with the ralliart, and I was like, oh, I really want that, but I couldn't really afford that at the time either. So now it's been years and years later, and there's no more Evos being produced, and there's no more ralliarts, but they still have the older ones. And I ran across one online. I was actually looking for another, little turbo project truck, and I think I may end up putting the truck on hold at the moment and going and grabbing this Lancer up, because they had it listed as a regular Lancer online, and they had it listed for, right at $6 grand, like $5,900. Had 80,000 miles, but I noticed that front end was not a regular Lancer front end. So I was like, maybe it's like the GTS or something. I don't know a ton about Lancers, but I was thinking maybe somebody had swapped like a front end on it. Well, I go and click on it, and I call them, get the VIN number, and come to find out it is a Lancer ralliart. It's a one-owner vehicle, 80,000 miles. It's got all the service records. It's sitting at a dealership right up here, and I'm actually about to pull up, but either I found something and it's going to be a turd and I'm going to record that, or it's actually going to be a diamond in the rough and I might have got a little deal. So let's go see. Went inside and talked to the guy. He gave me the key. He's talking to somebody, so I get a little bit of time alone with the car before he comes out. So I see it's got the paddle shifters, the plus and minus. It's got the dual clutch transmission that I was looking into last night that used to be super expensive to replace, but it looks like now they've gotten a good alternative rebuild. There's a company that rebuilds them for like $2 grand. So I'm just always looking at worst case scenario on these things, but the car on the outside looks pretty good. As I showed you on the back, there's a couple scratches and like 1 or 2 dings that look really weird. I don't know if maybe it was on a little fender bender in the rear. Carfax is clean, but that doesn't mean anything. Seats, none of those are ripped up or anything like that. It's a 4-door car. I noticed on the door panels seem to be good. Little light scratches, but there's one little tiny hole right here. I don't know, maybe like a cigarette burn, but it doesn't smell like a smoking car. And then I noticed the key is, I guess it's just a fob, and then you just twist this to actually start it. So a little bit different setup. Looks like that works. All-wheel control, AWC. Don't know exactly what that does, but I'm gonna go look up underneath the hood before I even start it. Well, it seems as though, oh, my camera's fuzzy. Seems as though everything seems to be good. It's got cold AC. It's got a TPMS light on. If I can focus. Yeah, see, it's like TPMS, service required on the tires. I don't think anything else is going on now. There's no check engine light, so that's good. I'm just gonna sit here and see if it comes up to temperature. real good, and then we'll go from there, because it's got the temperature gauge right there. So it's looking good right now. Make sure it can regulate sitting here, because it's idling. It's a little warm outside, so this is probably a good test. And yeah, I'll check all the windows, make sure they can go down and up, all the little stupid stuff that a lot of people don't think about. But I mean, you go and buy a $6,000 car and you would hope all the windows would work. Okay, it looks like all those are working. What is this? A little door light thing. Okay, well, pretty simple. I already checked, and the ASC off works. It turns it off. The AWC button changes it from like tarmac to gravel to snow, I guess if you're driving in different weather conditions. Some people have told me that they had, some models came with like a USB plug-in in here. I do not see that, but I do see what looks kind of odd is some RCA jacks right there. I don't know if that's factory or if that's aftermarket. Just seems kind of odd. Looks aftermarket, doesn't it? Maybe somebody had some speakers in here. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. But the gentleman said he would come out and talk to me here in a minute, and I'm gonna take it for a test drive. It is the factory ralliart seats, which are nothing special in this year model. They're just like stock Impreza seats that are maybe upholstered just a tiny bit more. But I mean, for the money, I think it's maybe a pretty good deal. Yeah, I looked up Blue Book, and these cars are right around the, hold on, let me flip the camera around. So I looked up Blue Book on these cars, and they're anywhere from low condition, like 8,000–9,000, into really, really good condition, like 14,000– 15,000. So then I was looking into like what brakes on them. Some people say that the transmissions go out, but it's around 1,500 to 2,000 to get somebody else to rebuild it if I pull it. And then yeah, so I guess that's not a deal breaker. But apparently these transmissions hold up pretty well, and more people are actually complaining about the motor when you go to modify them and you don't get a correct map or you don't get a professional tune, that the motors just don't hold up. But it seems to be that this is the exact same motor that the Evo has, so good quality motor. And people are also saying online that you can swap the manifolds on, you can swap the intercooler piping, you can swap in a bigger intercooler. All the Evo parts fit, even the exhaust stuff, it all fits. The biggest difference, I guess, is this comes with a smaller turbo than the Evo and a smaller intercooler and different charge piping. It comes with like flexible charge piping. It looks like radiator hose instead of like the hard plastic. But yeah, so I'm seriously thinking about this, guys. I don't think I'm gonna buy it right this second. I think I'm gonna sleep on it, but I'm gonna see what he can do price wise. I didn't have anybody with me, and it's almost the end of the day, so I wouldn't be able to drive it home regardless. But if I can beat him up on price, maybe a little bit more, if I could steal this ralliart for like $5 grand, that would be an absolute steal in my opinion. And yeah, so I wasn't planning on getting this thing, but it might just happen. Might just happen. Then we could slap a little bit bigger turbo on here, make a little power. I don't know. Maybe I'm messing up. Guys, comment down below, and just know that a day after this, I could potentially own or not own this car. But I'm gonna go ahead and upload this video tonight. I don't know if I'll be able to get any footage while we're driving. I might try, but regardless, stay tuned. So he let me drive it without him, which is cool. Some dealers don't do that, but this one seems to be a pretty decent little shop. Driving it, I've tested it in regular automatic, I've tested it in sport mode, and I've also tested it in the like manual paddle shifter mode. The car is not slipping at all. It actually drives a lot like a stick, except it decides when it wants to shift when it's in like full automatic mode. But yeah, it seems to be running really good. I like it. We're not overheating or doing anything stupid. Once I get back, I'm gonna check the oil and stuff again and see if I can't get him down a little bit on price. But guys, I think I might be getting it. Let's yeah, I like it. Good stuff.